It is 5:30 a.m. on January 5th, 2026. Deep in the frozen mud of Donetsk, a Ukrainian engineer is white-knuckling the steering wheel of a 40-ton Russian S-350 missile launcher. Yes, you heard that right. Ukraine is trying to borrow a $150 million treasure from Russia. He has exactly 12 minutes before a Russian quick reaction force turns this $150 million heist into a very expensive scrap heap. One slip on the ice and he's stuck. One wrong turn and he's intercepted. This is a unique opportunity to steal one of Russia's few remaining S-350 systems, a theft that began 6 hours ago with a ghost in the fog. To understand how we got to this wild high-speed chase, we have to rewind the clock to 11 p.m. the night before. The stage was set in a desolate, fog-choked corner of the Donetsk region. The ground was frozen solid, Mother Nature's version of high-strength concrete. This is a crucial detail. Driving a 40-ton missile truck through soft mud is impossible, but tonight, the earth is as hard as a Russian general's heart, providing the perfect escape floor. Enter our protagonists, the Asgard Battalion of the 412th Nemesis Brigade. These aren't typical infantry, they are elite drone operators who treat a joystick like a surgeon treats a scalpel. Miles away, they were staring at their monitors at a digital wall of fire, the electronic signature of the Russian 50N6E multifunctional radar. To be honest, this machine is a masterpiece of electronic arrogance. This phased array system has 100 digital eyes that can track 100 targets simultaneously within 75 miles. It is the absolute brain of the S-350 Vityaz battery. Russia spent more on this single battery than Putin spent on some of his favorite villas. It was designed to be an invisible dome. Without this radar, those massive 50P6 launcher trucks are just $200 million worth of very expensive lawn ornaments. The problem was simple but deadly. To get close, they had to climb over that digital wall without tripping the alarm. Usually, that's a suicide mission. If a drone gets close, the Panzer S-1 system turns it into expensive confetti before you can say checkmate. However, the Ukrainians had a ghost in the machine. They weren't planning a fair fight. They brought two secret ingredients, a phantom swarm of decoys and a fiber optic ghost relay. It was like spray painting the lens of Russia's high-end camera to make them blind. 4:30 a.m. High above the fog, a Ukrainian Leleka 100 reconnaissance drone hovers like a silent hawk. Its optics are zoomed 40x, mapping every inch of the S-350 battery. The Russian crew thinks they are invisible in the mist, but to the Leleka, they are glowing like a neon sign. The Asgard Battalion pulls the trigger. 30 FPV drones are launched, but these aren't toys. Each carries a specialized electronic repeater that catches the Russian radar signal and bounces it back 10 times stronger. Suddenly, these 20-pound drones look like 40,000-pound Su-27 flanker fighter jets on the radar screens. It's like putting a billboard of a semi-truck on a bicycle. The Russians took the bait hook, line, and sinker. Inside the Panzer S-1, screens turn from quiet green to violent red. The operator sees what looks like a full wing of Ukrainian jets screaming in at low altitude. Air raid sirens howl through the countryside. The commander screams into his radio, "Intercept! Intercept!" The Panzer S-1 turret slews with a mechanical whine. Its dual 30mm cannons pump out 4,000 rounds per minute. A $1 million fireworks show begins. One by one, the Ukrainian decoys experience unplanned structural compromises in midair. A Tor M2 vehicle joins the party, launching 9 M331 missiles. Each missile, worth hundreds of thousands, is chasing a drone that costs as much as a used iPad. The Russian crew is cheering. They think they've just crushed a massive Ukrainian airstrike. But here's the why they missed. Every time a launcher fires, it reveals its exact position to the Leleka drone above. And while they were 100% focused on chasing ghosts at 100 feet, they completely ignored what was happening at 10 feet. Ukraine lost 60% of the swarm. But that was just the ante. They traded cheap plastic for expensive Russian attention. The window of opportunity was now wide open. As the fog swirls, the main event is revealed. The S-350 Vityaz and its 4 massive 50P6 launchers carrying 48 missiles. The Russian crew realizes the ghosts were a trick and switches to close-in defense. 49 N-6 missiles scream off the rails, swatting 4 Ukrainian FPV drones into orange fireballs. The Russian operators are high-fiving in their cabins, thinking they've saved the day. However, they were looking at the wrong part of the sky. The S-350 radar has a blind spot at low altitudes over frozen ground. While the Russians were celebrating, Ukraine played their real ace, the fiber-optic ghost relay. This drone isn't controlled by radio waves, it's on a literal leash of glass, a fiber-optic cable thinner than a hair. You cannot jam a piece of glass. The Russian commander panics and orders the Krasuka-4, their most powerful electronic warfare system, to max power. They created a digital blackout. It worked, but it worked too well. It blinded Russia's own interceptor drones. Russian drones went stupid and crashed into the mud. The Russians effectively blindfolded themselves, while Ukraine was still seeing everything in high definition through their fiber-optic straw. 2 Ukrainian loitering munitions ghosted under the blind spot and slammed directly into the face of the 50 N-6E radar. The Eye of Sauron was officially neutralized. The multi-million-dollar antenna slumped into a pile of smoking fiberglass. With the radar dead, the 50 P-6 launchers became 40-ton paperweights. Fear took over the Russian crew. As an FPV drone exploded nearby, they scrambled out of their cabins and vanished into the fog, leaving the engines humming. But Russia wasn't done. They launched Molniya motherships to destroy their own abandoned asset. Ukraine answered with the Sting high-speed AI-driven interceptors that look like something out of a sci-fi movie. The sky turned into a 200 miles per hour dogfight. The Sting drone swatted 5 Russian motherships out of the air in under 2 minutes. The airspace was clear, the crew was gone, and the trucks were waiting for a new set of keys. A seek and destroy mission had officially become the heist of the century. The Ukrainian tech team moved in, an expert driver, a lead engineer, and a Russian defector who knew every security code of the S-350. The engineer's fingers shook as he plugged a laptop into the launcher's data port. Access denied flashed 3 times. On the 4th try, the defector whispered a sequence. The laptop chirped, the air brakes hissed, the beast was alive. Just as they slammed it into gear, the radio crackled. Russian Quick Reaction Forces 3 miles out, ETA 12 minutes. The heist turned into the world's most lopsided drag race. As the lumbering trucks fled, Ukrainian drones dropped TM-62 mines on the icy road. A minute later, the lead Russian BMP hit a mine at 30 miles per hour, flipping the 13-ton vehicle and blocking the entire column. Russian Lancets were still diving from the sky. Ukraine's last line of defense, the Sting interceptors, swatted them down before they could get within a mile. FPV swarms neutralized the remaining Russian vehicles stuck behind the wreckage. Under this cover of madness, the 2 stolen 50 P-6 launchers crossed the tree line into Ukrainian territory. They were safe. The bridge behind them was blown, leaving Moscow to watch their $150 million treasure drive away with Ukrainian flags on the antennas. It was a breathtaking win. Ukraine didn't just win a battle, they upgraded their entire air defense research program. They also hauled off containers of 9 M96 missiles, which they are now taking apart like a kid with a new Lego set. By neutralizing that radar, Ukraine punched a giant hole in Russia's invisible dome. For the next 48 hours, Ukrainian drones flew deep into what used to be a suicide zone, hitting command centers with impunity. Reverse engineering these launchers means Ukraine and its allies will soon know the exact electronic frequencies of Russia's most advanced defenses. It's like stealing the master key to your opponent's entire house.